Welcome, race fans, here to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here tonight, we're here with heavy hearts and thoughts on our minds for one of our in the racing community of Phillip Hill, as this tonight is a memorial race here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Here to remember the life of Phil the Thrill Hill. Here as we take on this racetrack that he took on very many times here himself in the late model race car. Here as we bring it to the simulator here on iRacing.com here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting here tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. It's a pleasure to call this action here tonight and bring the memory of Phillip Hill to all those who are tuning in. And it's tonight a night of memory here, indeed, for himself. So we will have to see how great the racing is out there in memory of Phil tonight as we watch these guys do battle for 150 laps here under the lights at the Nashville Fairgrounds. As practice is still got about 3 minutes here left before we head off into qualifying to set up our 150 laps here tonight. I want to introduce everybody up here in the booth. I am Zach Hall. Joined alongside me is going to be Brian Johnson, as we'll also have our producer Robert Moyer Jr. up here running all the screens and cameras here tonight on the stream. So thank you all for tuning in. Brian here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds, man, with the late model race car. Open setup, 150 laps. These guys are going to have a tough time out here mastering this very tricky racetrack.
Oh yes, Zach, absolutely. On Freaky Fast Broadcasting, we don't usually get the opportunity to call a race where it's open setup. A lot of what we see is fixed setup. So this open setup race here tonight with these late models at Nashville really opens the door for a lot for us to talk about, but of course as well with the drivers and their setup. They're able to tune that car to exactly what they want and tune it into the track. And, that's just before the race. And, during the race, when they get the opportunity to make a pit stop, they can make adjustments. And so, we'll really be able to see who, at the beginning of the race, who's got the speed at the beginning and who can, really keep up with the track and make those adjustments. And, someone with these slower times here in practice may surprise us at the end of the race.
They very well could, Brian. I mean, that's the thing with open setup for sure. And this right here I'm surely they were caught off guard a little bit. Realistic, dynamic skies here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds. And right now, overcast clouds with a 65-degree ambient temperature and a 67-degree track temp. That right there, very cool. Pretty much the coolest side of things you can have here on iRacing. And that setup is going to swing a certain way when you come here with these different type of conditions. It's going to be fun to see, like you said, who can possibly fix themselves up a little bit. Maybe some of the guys down towards near the bottom of the leaderboard, such as Jackson McLaren there, he down there in 19.31. Maybe he'll be able to find a little bit more speed here with a few changes tonight throughout this race. It's going to be fun to see as practice comes to an end and qualifying's just getting ready to start to kick off. We'll see what type of lap times they can put down. Right now, fastest we've seen there in practice was at 18:86. We'll see if anybody can break that lap time, because that was looking pretty quick around here.
It was, and another thing you got to think about, Zach, is that with fixed setup racing, the setup that you use in qualifying in the race is the same setup. But for this open setup race that we have here tonight, your qualifying setup and your race setup are going to be completely, well, maybe not completely different, but there are going to be some significant changes. So the guys that qualify up front here may not have the fastest race pace.
That's very, very true. That qualified setup going to differ from that race setup, so that's always an interesting factor that plays into these type of races. We're watching right now is Jeffrey Maconi out there trying to put down his quickest time in a 00. Maconi setup shot machine here for his qualifying times, and we'll see where he was. He was about fourth on the board there in practice, was looking pretty quick in that 00. We'll see what his first lap is there. A little bit quicker than his practice time, a 19:008 for him. Puts him at the top of the board ahead of Jeffrey Taylor with a 19:082.
Yeah, right now, watching the 32 of Jason Warren out. Right now, we got the 9. It looks like the 9 there of Jeffrey Taylor making his lap, second lap there. Maybe can't improve quite yet, but Bob Hogue brings it up into fourth place right now with the 19.7. That's a little bit off from the top 3, but these guys do get 2 laps, so maybe that second lap will be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, maybe that second lap is what they're going to be looking for. Is Jason Warren, the fastest man in practice, goes straight to the top of the board there with the 18.94 there for himself. Great lap time from Jason Warren in the 32 machine to put himself atop the board, right ahead of Jeffrey Maconi in the double zeros. We're watching a few more of these other drivers take laps. What I'm noticing, Brian, and even you kind of pointed it out here as we were sitting here before this practice, watching a few of these guys make laps, looks pretty on the free side for a few of these drivers out here, and that's going to be a handful all night, and that could just be the race setup. You know, looking for the most turn possible, trying to get that fastest way around. Sometimes that qualifying setup can be typically a little bit of a handful.
Oh yeah, those qualifying setups that you make, you definitely want them on the edge because you know you're not concerned with tire wear, you're not concerned with you know that race pace longevity. You're concerned with okay, I've got these cold tires coming straight off the pit road. How can I make the fastest lap possible on these cold tires, which don't have grip to begin with? And so you essentially have to set up this car to where it is pretty much as free as you can get it and still keep it somewhat straight. So these guys are, literally, well, not literally, but they're very much on a knife's edge.
Yeah, very much on knife edge, no doubt indeed, my friend. But right now, watching the 39 James Watson in that colorful 39 machine there, trying to put some great times in right now. He's going to have himself sitting 10th on the board with a 19.522. So we'll see where James Watson can move himself if you're on the second lap to see if there's any improvement. Looks like not going to get it done. So that 19.522 is going to be his best time as he continues around the racetrack, just getting some practice laps in here as he wasn't able to put a practice lap down. So this is probably a good time to get that. So, man, great to see him getting some practice here before this race kicks off. But 3 minutes and 30 seconds into qualifying, and we've had 12 drivers take times, only 3 yet to do it here. We'll see if those 3 still put any more times down. But right now, setting up for a heck of a battle up front.
Yeah, and another thing you also have to consider with these qualifying times is that depending on everyone's schedule, they may only have their race set up because while this may be only a simulation, it still takes quite a bit of time to build just one setup. So when you're talking about having to build a good qualifying setup and a good race setup, that takes several hours. So some of these guys maybe only have a race setup. So I think that's what we're seeing with Jason Warren. He's almost a tenth up from second place. So I think he had either he had one in the notebook to use for tonight, or he had a lot of time this past week to really fine tune that qualifying setup.
Well, the way I look at it here, Brian, is the aspect of this is a very, very common late model racetrack too. This Nashville Fairgrounds. I mean, tonight again, this is the memorial race for Phillip Hill, and this was a racetrack that he very frequently raced in these late model race cars. And this is something that is very normal for someone who does late model open setups. You definitely, I feel like, would have a pretty good notebook coming into this place. So it looks like Warren up front was able to use that and put himself on the pole position as the final seconds of qualifying click away. That is going to bring it in there to qualifying for tonight here for 150 laps. It's going to be Jason Warren up top there on the board, but we're going to look to bring up those qualifying results here and bring you your starting grid here tonight for the Phillip Hill Memorial 150 at the Nashville Fairgrounds. As there is our starting grid. Jason Warren going to start on that pole position, the 32 machine. Alongside him on that front row is going to be the double zero, Jeffrey Maconi. Third is going to go to David Collier Jr. in the number 52 machine, but he'll be rocking actually Phillip Hill's Memorial paint scheme. So the actual scheme that Phillip ran around this racetrack. So that's pretty cool to see there in that 52 machine. Fourth is going to go to Steven Harlow. Fifth is going to be Jeffrey Taylor. Sixth is going to go to Jackson McLaren. Seventh is going to be Shannon Wilder. Eighth is going to go to Ross Harlow. Ninth is going to go to Steve Chun. 10th is going to go to Bryce Fauntleroy.
I'm sorry there, Zach. In 11th, we got James Watson, and then Bob Hogue in 12th place. Peyton Hamlet's going to start 13th. Jordan Person in 14th. And Brian Lofton going to round out this 15-car field here tonight at Nashville Fairgrounds. And, pretty excited. We got some short track racing here tonight on a Friday night.
Yes, exactly. Very, very excited. And again, going to be a very memorial race here as we're all got our minds on Phillip Hill there in memory of him. And man, that's the one beauty of this, Brian, is the racing community is it's just so tight together. When one of us has a problem, all of us come together to help each other in our times of needs, man. And this is such a great time to be able to do this, even on the sim. Right here, bringing us to the simulation on the iRacing side. It shows you the deeps are very tight in the racing community, man, and it's so fun to see people out here putting on races for people who had an impact on people's lives out there in the racing community. So great stuff here tonight to remember Phillip Hill. He is definitely going to be looking down on this one, and I think smiling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We always hear about how tight-knit the racing community is in real life, but in sim racing, it's just the same. Even though that there's hundreds or maybe even thousands of miles in between us all, we still share that same love of racing, and that love for each other in the community also extends into the digital side of things as well.
That it does, my friend. Is we got to thank iRacing.com for being able to let us do things like we do here tonight. As the pace car is going to pull off. We're doing this in memory of Phil the Thrill Hill here for 150 laps at the Nashville Fairgrounds. We are in the restart zone, waiting for Barney the flagman to wave the green flag. And green flag is off and away as we are starting there right at the line. It's going to the 32 there on the bottom lane. Here looking to get across those bumps through 1 and 2. He's going to get through the bumps as Maconi has the run here down the back straight. A little contact from the leaders up front. He keeps it straight here for the lead.
Yeah, turns 1 and 2, 03 up on the top, and now he's on the bottom. They're going to be side by side as they cross the start-finish line, with the 32 of Jason Warren going to lead the first lap as they finally get single file going into 1 and 2 on the second lap.
Great start here from the field here as we're seeing Warren hold on to that early lead in the 32 machine. The 05 hero Roswell Harlow up in the 6th position after starting 8th here as they got a battle behind him of Jeffrey Taylor and Bryce Font-Leroy.
Yeah, and one thing we got to keep in mind here, Zach, is that these tires, they're not the tires that we see in the the B, C, and A cars, that next gen. These tires are more durable, so these guys that are having this quick short run pace right now, that may extend more into the long run with these durable tires.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that really transitions. That is the one thing, we cover on Wednesday nights here a super late model league, but never have we on Freaky Fast covered a late model race. So, a little less power in these cars. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they make the tires work, because how in iRacing, this is one thing, is you got to be able to make the tires work if you're going to get it done. As right now, single file through much of the field as we continue on through lap number 5, but a great start for a lot of these drivers throughout this field, just trying to figure out this racetrack. You got 150 laps, and I like the patience being shown by a lot of them.
Yeah, I think with the amount of bumps that this track has, everybody's kind of, giving everybody the room that they need right now. It's still early in the race, and you're trying to get settled in right now as we see, up front, the 7 of Jackson McLaren past 52 of David Collier there. But, trying to get the field sorted out here. If you start at the back and you got a fast race pace car, you're making yourself, making your way through the front. But, really at a track like this, the short track with these low horsepower cars, it's really going to be about, setting up that pass multiple laps in advance. Nothing's going to happen very quickly here tonight.
Yeah, definitely with that little horsepower, going to be a little bit harder to set up those passes, but a little bit more methodical indeed, as you're seeing some great action up there as the 9 machine goes around there. Jeffrey Taylor, that's going to bring out the first yellow of the night there as he is spun around on the front straightaway here in our first opening 9 laps, and the 9 machine spins on lap 9. So we'll see this freaky fast replay here. We're going to see exactly what happened to this 9 machine. It was some interesting racing going on, really. It was between Roswell Harlow and Steven Harlow. The two Harlows got a little bit of a checkup on the bottom lane here. You'll see those two racing side by side. And from there, the 9 checks up, loses the rear end as the lane is coming from behind him. And man, oh man, unfortunately for Jeffrey Taylor, he goes around, and that is an engine expired on that machine. So he's got to take their one and only fast repair they have here tonight. And if if you're new to iRacing, this a fast repair is where they pretty much get a brand new race car. So he'll get this thing completely fixed up and reset and back ready to go. But that is the only time he'll be able to use that here tonight. Is they got one here for the race session.
Yeah, one thing watching that wreck is, brings to my mind is that, with this being open setup, this car, if you've really got that thing tuned in, it's very, very on edge. So anytime that you have to make those, quick reactions like the nine did right there to try to stay out of trouble, sometimes with the car being, so on edge like that, it, just comes out from under you since you're doing something so sporadic.
Very easy to lose these things, it seems so far, and we've had some interesting racing to start, and even that little very beginning start there, you can see on our 00 machine of Jeffrey Maconi, that second place car, there was contact between him and Warren on that very initial start, because that bottom lane, it does not like to go there on the exit due to those major bumps off the exit of 2 here at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and Maconi really set him up for that. He was very well up high, setting up the run coming off the corner, and Warren slides up the racetrack. They make a little contact. It actually gives Maconi a little bit of damage on that nose, on that front valence, so definitely interesting to see that a little bit of a damage from that little bit of contact, but I don't think it's going to be too much to hurt that race car. Hopefully on the cooling side of things also should be all good.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about what the how the aerodynamics of this late model works at these short tracks, but I'd have to imagine that if you got this thing pretty, you got the ride height set up pretty good, and you feel like you got the aero efficient, maybe that little bit of damage, it may affect you, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that arrow damage has any little bit of effect. We're not expecting any too much here in these late models. The pace car is in this time, though. We're getting ready to go back green flag races. We're seeing Barney the flagman waiting in anticipation. It's going to be in control of the 32 machine of Jason Warren as they're off and going again here on the green flag. And it's a good restart again from that top side. But I think Warren going to be able to control here if he can get through the bumps of 1 and 2. He does. As down the back straightaway, Maconi has a look but just cannot get there to make it happen.
I tell you what, if I was the 32 of Jason Warren, I would be, looking in my mirror a bunch at, Jeffrey Maconi behind me, because that guy looks like he really knows what he's doing back there. I mean, obviously he's in second place, but, it looks like he's being really methodical with everything that he does.
Methodical is definitely a good way to get it done. Is back here, it's be a little bit more rough and tumble as we got Shannon Wilder in the 10 machine trying to go forward here, and they're going to be battling with the 14, or sorry, the 14 of Stephen Harlow there up top, and he'll actually be in the 06. You're going to see him lose that race car, spin around here, and that's going to be the second caution of the night. Luckily, the 9 of Jeffrey Taylor was involved in the first one. He luckily just gets by that one there, and just a little bit of a loose in the center for that 06. He goes around, and major incident there that could have been happening. It is avoided by the 9 machine as he narrowly scrapes by there on the inside lane. What a wild ride that was there for Stephen Harlow. He could have took a lot more damage there with that 9 getting into him, but luckily Jeffrey Taylor heads up move, misses the wreck there as that number 14 goes around there in turn 4.
Yeah, speaking of aerodynamics, with these late models, they're very different from the next gen. The next gen has got a lot of front downforce, got a little bit of that side force as well that we sometimes talk about. But these late models here, there's not a lot of aero grip available. So a lot of their grip is coming from, the suspension. We call it mechanical grip. So, one thing that can happen sometimes is that you push that car, so hard in the corner. And I think that's what happened right there is that, up on the outside, just a little bit too fast in the middle, and that rear end just slides right out from under you, and there's nothing you can do.
Very quickly lost like that. And this track too, Ryan, it's a tough one, man. The bumps here are very aggressive. The line and the racing side by side can get very wild. I mean, this place is it's a tough one when it comes to short tracks.
Yeah, and It varies person to person whether they like a bumpy track or a smooth track. I think Zach, you like a bumpy track from what I hear, but with me, I kind of like my tracks a little bit smoother. So, if I was in one of these cars, I would be having a terrible time with these bumps. Having to navigate through them while you're trying to, run your line and defend and pass. It's pretty difficult when you're having to battle the track as much as these guys are having to battle Nashville tonight.
Yeah, it can be a handful indeed. And I think Warren, he's been taking the brunt of it here, having to restart on the bottom here with the lead here each and every time so far up front. It's been that chance down the back straightaway from Maconi, and he thought about it last time, but like you said, he was very methodical, thought otherwise, and did a great job. But this time the pace car is going to come in. We're going to get ready to go back green flag racing after our second caution of the night here on the Speedway. We're going to wait for Barney the flagman as they near the starting zone. The green flag is off and away as they start right at the line. The 32 once again dead even between him and the 00 up top. But here comes Maconi, and he gets the perfect start this time, able to power around the top side now as he has the preferred groove heading down to 3 and 4. This is going to be side by side for our lead here coming off of turn number 4. The 32 not giving up yet as the 00 tries to power to the front position. It looks like it's going to be a good battle here heading off of 2, but that was bumps just too much to prove for the 32 machine as that 00 powers off the top for the lead.
Yeah, I think old Maconi there, he learned something from the last restart. He realized just how hard that 32 was going to send it into 1 and 2. And, he decided to match him this restart and was able to stay side by side with him and complete that pass.
What a job it was by him, but here comes Warren. He is not letting him up as he's trying to make something happen here. And look at this, interesting. Run a little bit lower. Maconi still sticking to that upper groove. Here's the 2 different distinct lines between these front 2 up front, but don't look too far behind. Jackson McLaren here in that 7 machine. A little bit of network issues for him, but man, he is definitely flown up through the field from that 6th starting position. Remember, this was the slowest driver in practice. Here finding something in this race here as the battle for the lead continues. That 32 not giving up front. He's going back for the lead here on the inside. Can he get it done, though, is going to be the question here as the tires come to heat. I think he's getting a little bit better exit here, Brian, but we'll see what he can do as they head to 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, you said that Maconi had the preferred line, but, it all depends on how they have their cars set up. If that 32 has really committed to the bottom and making that car work on the bottom and go through those bumps, I feel like if he's got that thing tuned to go over the bumps, he could be pretty quick down there.
I think that's the beauty of open setup racing here we got tonight is you can have a car that you can technically tune to get over the bumps better than, the rest of the field. You can make that bottom work a little bit better. We're used to fixed setup racing where it's dead even. Everybody's got the same thing. Not here tonight. You brung what you had here to battle at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and it's fun to see who's got the best equipment. Is right now that 32 still trying to make something happen as we hop on board. It's the 05 of Ross Harlow here. He's trying to catch up to this front pack area, and he started from that 8th position, so up the 4th here has done a great job. And with all that battling happening up front with Maconi and Warren, it's really stacked that field up. It's allowing these other guys to claw their way right up into this battle.
Yeah, I gotta say, it's very impressive that, up until, this corner right here, but very impressive that Maconi and Warren right there were able to, basically run side by side there for a very long time and still keep that pace that they had. That really shows that these cars, they got a lot of grip in them. These drivers know what they're doing around this track, and, just overall very quick. You got them, and then the 7 behind that 05 Roswell Harlow. He's kind of, hanging around in the back. But I think, he might be up in the mix later in the race. I think he's just biding his time.
Biding their time as a lot of these drivers are doing here on lap 31. We're looking here. You can see that's the 84 machine there of Steven Chun. He's behind that 52, which it's the 41 on the racetrack of David Cooler Jr. as they stack up this field here. This is a great battle we got going on. It's really, with Maconi taking this lead, it's really set up. Really, our first 8 all stacked up on top of each other now as it's a log jam. And another thing comes in factor here, Brian, we only have 2 sets of tires here tonight, 1 set in pit road. That is going to be crucial for your timing of when you want to get that pit stop done.
Yeah, you know, that's a really tough call because you know it all depends on where the cautions fall. But definitely, since we have 150 laps, definitely sometime after lap 75. Um, you know, the later the better to take that last set of tires, but at the same time, you don't want it to be too late. So the timing on those sets of tires is going to have to be almost perfect if you want to take advantage of them, as we got the leaders side by side yet again.
Yeah, yet again, it is side by side for the lead. The 32 made the big move off of 4 last time. Was able to get a pretty good run through the 1 and 2 here, right through this center, able to be a nose ahead. But look at this on the exit. It's a dead even heat as they head down the back straightaway. Maconi edges a nose ahead, and that's the advantage of that outside line down the straightaways. He's able to get that drive off that top that 32 hasn't been able to do. Yeah, but 32 able to actually surge a little bit ahead there and still be dead even entering this time. It is a log jam for our lead. Great battling for this front position.
And you see Maconi really tight on Warren there on the exit of 2, really trying to pinch him down, kind of remove a little bit of that momentum that the 32 has on the exit right now. But 32 looking really, really strong on the bottom. And, you know, I'd really like to know the difference in the setup between these two cars, because these guys run in two completely different lanes, but making it work respectively.
Very respectively for sure. And that's the beauty also of open setups. These guys are on completely different setups, and they're making them both work in their own respective way. Up front, though, these two battling here has really brought everything into picture here. Jackson in the 7, Roswell in the 05, Bryce in the 16, Peyton in the 19. They're all stacked up down the back straightaway here as the 32 finally makes it clear here with Maconi sliding back. The 7 now going to try to take advantage of this here with Jackson moving his way forward.
Yeah, Maconi last lap hit the wall coming out of 2. You know, maybe it damaged his car a little bit. You know, hopefully that doesn't slow him down as he's going to try to pull the crossover move on the 7 there going into 3. We'll see what kind of grip he has on the bottom. Hadn't seen him much down there.
Yeah, I haven't seen him much down there tonight for much. And, you know, going back and looking at it myself, Brian, a little bit of contact between him and the 32 is what put him up the racetrack and in and almost up into the 05 there of Roswell Harlow. Those two making contact there behind for that 3rd position. This has been some great action out here on the racetrack, and this is what the Nashville Fairgrounds produces, and this is why late model action is always fantastic around this racetrack. It just sets up for great runs here for guys crossing people over as this group behind our leaders, this 16 of Bryce Leroy. He is really trying to make something happen up in that top groove as now it's stacked up there in that back 5th position.
Yeah, I really think either with Maconi, either he's you know, not in his preferred lane, he's on the bottom instead of the top, or that car is pretty hurt because you know, he's kind of getting freight trained a little bit right now with that you know, the 16 and the 19 going around him.
Yeah, getting a little bit of a freight train for sure, stuck on the bottom, and you gotta think that contact up there has gotten to that right front tire. Maybe a little bit of damage on that front fender there has been hindering that 03 or that 00, sorry. But it's still side by side between him and the 16. 16 having a little bit of trouble putting the power down the exit. See him a little bit loose here off the corners. But this time able to almost just get narrowly away from hitting the wall, and luckily does not do that. But still, this stack of 4 drivers here has let the front 3 start to gap the field a little bit. But Maconi not giving up on this bottom. It's so tough to get it done. But if you can clear here right in the center, you can try to do it. But no, the 16 doesn't let it happen here as they race side by side continuously.
Yeah, and you know, unfortunately for the you know, 52 there on screen, going to be your 41. But you know, I feel like he's faster than both of these 2 cars. But right now, there's just nowhere for him to go. These guys are clogging up the track for him.
Yeah, David trying to find somewhere to go here and running that Phillip Hill inspired paint scheme there. That's so awesome to see him, and that's why he's running the 41, ladies and gentlemen. That was the number of Phil. The thrill hill there is. Look at this now. The 41 there of David is going to actually get to the top here and try to make that move. Look at this. The 19 of Peyton Hamlet is also going to try to follow him through. Great runs for a lot of these drivers right here as they continue to go to the outside of Maconi. Maconi saying, when will this end? As man, that right front damage has really hindered his progress.
Yeah, he definitely needs caution. right about now. Got to get that damage repaired, and unfortunately, now that he's slid all the way back to seventh place now, whenever he is able to get that damage fixed and have the pace that he had earlier in the race, he's got a lot of work to do to get back up into that, first, second position.
A lot of work to do from a lot of these drivers right here to get back up there to that front group, as Warren is really able to stretch his legs up front. But as they got by Maconi, David Kohler Jr. here trying to pull away from the 19 of Peyton Hamlet here. But Hamlet has not let that happen. The 19 keeping this 52 very well in check. Is behind this. Maconi has another friend here. It's Steven Chun in the 19 trying to get by Jeffrey.
Yeah, and Chun there, he's got some quite extensive damage on the back of his car. Looks like, maybe a little contact happened earlier in the race, but doesn't seem to be affecting his car too much. His line's looking pretty good right now. He's electing to use the bottom there in 3 and 4, and he's going to be trying to get around that 00 of Jeffrey Maconi and try to catch up to that 19 of Hamlet.
This run here is just continuing to build worse for that 00 machine. Is after that contact from leading up front between him and Jackson Warren, he has been set back majorly as Jordan Pearson behind this and Shannon Wilder. They battle for position there between the 4 and the 10 machine. This is for that 9th and 10th position. Also behind them, they got the 14 of Stephen Harlow, not too far behind, and James Watson in the 39 right here in the 12th position. So right here, our top 12 positions all separated by only 5 seconds.
Yeah, and that, battle between Shannon Wilder there and Jordan Pearson. Man, that was a really hard battle. You saw the last lap, the 10 car elected to really push it on entry, slid up in the middle, and then the 4, he decided to use the slow in, fast out approach, but he got a little tight on exit, and the 10 was able to clear him and get around him. And, these guys bumper to bumper right here at the back, and kind of in the middle of the pack too. You got the 19 in the back bumper at the 52. So that's the great thing about short track racing, is that there's always some sort of action, whether it's in the front or the back of the field.
Yeah, it is really just an action racetrack here tonight, as we've had it all over the place. As you look at this, Peyton there in the 19, pressure in the 52 of David Kohler Jr. there down the back straightaway, trying to make something happen. This is for a top 5 spot here, and this is about 3 seconds back from our leader of Jason Ward up front, who really started to stretch his legs, about a 1.4 second lead, and he continuously each and every lap clicking off the fastest lap times by a few hundredths of a second throughout the whole entire field. This 32 very, very quick, and very quickly catching up to some lap traffic here of the 9 of Jeffrey Taylor.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the how the lap traffic is tonight. Some races they make it pretty easy on the leader, and other races they don't. And I'd have to imagine here at Nashville it's going to be pretty tough. Especially with just the nature of the track and with it being so bumpy. Only time will tell. But last lap, Jason Warren ran in 1951. And second place there, Jackson McLaren, 1974. And then you got Ross Harlow with the 1967. So all these guys, the pace is pretty varying, with Jason Warren really being the class of the field right now.
Yeah, he has just been clicking off burner lap time each and every time. And yeah, it's really working out for him as this run continues to build his gap. We look at this battle still continuing on. The 41 on screen, but the 52 on your ticker, David Kohler Jr. He's been holding Peyton Hamlet off here for this position for a while now. But I tell you what, Peyton is not giving up. He's been there multiple times, just hasn't been able to get it done. As you can see, a little bit of a differing line there between the two as they run here down the back straightaway. As we continue to click laps away here very quickly, man. This race is clicking away.
But yeah, when the laps are only about 20 seconds long, 150 laps is more like a blink of an eye. As the 19 into the back of the 52 a little bit as they're battling, and that's going to bring out the caution. And a little bit of contact, but hey, we're almost halfway through this race, so the aggression's going to pick up a little bit.
Ooh, aggression levels will very well pick up, and we're going to go back on the freaky fast replay here to check this one out, and you're going to see it here, the 19 here and the 41 on screen of David Kohler Jr. going down to the corner. Peyton Hamlet just a little too deep here, gets into the back bumper of this 41 on entry right in the center of the corner. And really nothing for Coulter Jr. to do there, just goes around. But luckily for his sake, stays on the lead lap, doesn't get too much damage, and doesn't really even hit that inside wall hard. So great job by him to keep it out of that and keep his car clean here still to, be able to fight for another day here and possibly even look to put some tires on this pit stop.
Yeah, again, it all depends on how you think the later stages of the race are going to play out. But, I have a feeling if you think that we're going to see another caution, you may want to save that set of tires because, lap 63, you get those tires now and, put 40, 50 laps on them, and then we have another caution. Well, if somebody stayed out this caution, then they're going to be, sitting pretty at that point. But looks like pretty much everybody elects to stay out at this point, wanting to save that set of tires.
Looks like we had a few takers here. I did notice we had some drivers have some issues getting into pit road. Shannon Wilder actually got into the inside wall getting into pit road. But I do know the 7 machine Jackson there, he came down, he got his set of tires here. So, actually, sorry, I don't think he actually took tires. He just took fuel, I believe, in that race car. So we'll see what that does for him. Maybe he feels like, tires are not going to be the issue. It's going to be more of a fuel issue for these guys. I'll have to see how that all shakes it all out. But, man, this is setting up to be a very interesting battle. Maconi, he hit pit road there. I think he also got his fast spare. No, actually, sorry, did not get his fast spare. Good, I think a smart play actually from Maconi in the 00. He saves his fast spare, gets the optional repair done, and it looks a lot better than it did for him. So.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. And, going back to Wilder pitting there and not taking tires, again, we're not used to it, but he may have pitted to make some adjustments. Now, I didn't do my homework as to what sort of adjustments you can make on these cars on pit road since, everyone's different. But, he may have decided, hey, I want to get some fuel. I want to make an adjustment. I feel like I can make my car quicker. And, we'll see what he did with that.
Yeah, that very well could be the thing. And, too, these cars, the balance does have an effect there with the fuel. Even adding fuel to these cars is going to shift that weight balance in that race car. That very well could help the 7. So maybe he feels like his car is just better on a higher fuel load and has more of a balance that he likes at that point. So we'll see how that shakes things up. But right now, it's our leader, Jason Warren, who's going to be taking us to the green here as they come down the back straightaways. Looks like he's going to take the outside line here. I think that might be a very smart call. He's lost the lead both times, taking that inside lane. Now going to take the outside here as they're going to be coming off of turn 4, looking to go back green here at the Phillip Hill Memorial 150 here, the Nashville Fairgrounds. Marty the flag man waves that green flag, and we're off back in a way is now Roswell Harlow. He's going to have the chance on the bottom lane to try to make something happen. But I think Jason Warren going to not let that happen as he gets a little loose off the exit of the corner. Some other drivers sliding there behind. But it's going to be a battle side by side for our lead up front as they're making contact back here. The 209 goes around, and that's possibly going to bring out another yellow here on the racetrack. And major hit there for the 10.
Oh, yeah, the 10 car, heavy damage to the front end of that thing. But, it's like they say, Zach, especially at short tracks, is that cautions breed cautions. And that one did not take long to come out.
That one did not take long indeed to come out, and that all started between a little bit of contact between the 7 and the 209 of Bob Hope, and from there, the 00 Maconi really nowhere to go, gets into the back of the 209, sends him around, and that brings out the 4th caution of this evening here for the Phillip Hill Memorial 150 at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Man, what a tough break there for a few of these guys, but we're right here nearing the halfway point, and we're under caution. We're going to head to a quick break up here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and let our sponsors get a little bit of time here to talk, and we'll be right back here, folks. Don't go nowhere.
Start your engines! 4, 3, 2, 1, green screen. No lower grip whatsoever, up sideways. sideways everywhere. Come on, man. Do what you can. The vibration in this car is the worst vibration that I've ever had, and the shifter's broken again.
are back here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, we went green a little bit quicker than we were expecting here. We had an immediate yellow there on that latest restart, and man, oh man, the driver involved in that latest yellow was Jason Warren in the 32 machine back here in this field. He just took tires, restarted 12th, and got involved in an incident between that 06 out there and that 4 machine of Jordan Pearson, with a little bit of contact between those three, and all 2 race cars really hurt here from this contact. I think Warren most likely gonna have to take a fast repair on this stop here, but he's already took his tires, so not gonna be able to take those, but a fast repair most likely incoming here for the 32 as they're on pit road now.
Yeah, during that break, Zach, I was telling you, you told me that, the 32 pitted for tires and he's way back in the pack. And I was like, man, I feel like that's a little early. We are halfway, but, the way this race is playing out so far, I feel like with, somewhere around 30, 40 to go, at least, we may see a caution. So I feel like that's kind of the sweet spot to take the tires. And so I think that was a little bit too early. And, he gave up all of his track position. And, while there is only 11 cars on the lead lap right now, every single position is really, really important. And, when you get back in the pack, that's the risk you take, is trying to get that tire advantage early. But, you could end up in some trouble. So unfortunately, just had a little bit of bad luck there.
Yeah, a little bit of bad luck there indeed, and we'll see how he can bounce back from that. So up front, though, it's Roswell Harlow leading the way under caution here He's got Bryce Leroy there behind him in that second position, along with Peyton Hamlet there in third. James Watson up to fourth, and David Cooler Jr. back up to fifth after his spin. So great job by him to rebound there. But right now, looks like we're about to get double file back up here, possibly to get ready to go back racing, Brian. I tell you what, Jason's going to be a man on a mission back there in the 32, trying to make his way back up through this field.
And I'll tell you, during that long run, I was kind of taking a little glimpse at the lap times and that 32, and he was starting to kind of stretch his lead. The only car that I saw run quicker lap times than him occasionally was that 19 of Peyton Hamlet. So Hamlet there has a quick car. If he can get to the lead, I'd be interested to see just how far he can get away.
That'll be fun to watch here. See what the 19 can do. He's going to be restarting second car on the bottom there. But it's going to be the 05 Roswell Harlow leading us back to green flag racing here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway as the green flag comes back out and away. The 05 is off into the corner. And, man, definitely a little bit of an interesting start there as the 16 dives it up the inside. And what a move from Bryce Leroy, almost clearing the 05 here as they go down to 3 and 4. We'll see what the 16 can do here. He was very aggressive on the entry there, almost got clear.
I tell you what, that got really, really close. In fact, I got a feeling that 16 right now, he really wants this lead because he's come, inches to hitting that 05 of Ross Harlow in the middle of the corner. But he does finally clear. He's going to take that lead as, he gets a little bit loose right there in the middle over those bumps. Very treacherous part of the track right there as now 19 thinking about diving on the inside of the 05. He elects not to this time, but top three right now, bumper to bumper to bumper.
Everybody lined up here at the Nashville Fairgrounds as it's the 16 of Bryce out front here. You got that 05 behind him in the 19 directly there of Peyton Hamlet. You brought it up, Brian. He looked very quick there in that last run. Now trying to maybe here set up for something to happen for that second pass, but our leader having a little bit of issues there with his connection. Hopefully that clears up for him. He actually gets a little bit loose here on the entry. That's going to let the 05 possibly have a look here down the inside. And again, there goes the 16 blinking out.
Yeah, 16, I don't know if it's because he's, pushing real hard trying to keep this lead or if, his car just, off of the restart there with these, cold tires, a little bit cold tires, not quite heated up yet. If, that car is just a little bit loose on entry in the middle, but, really seems like it's either, right at the end under braking or as soon as it gets on the gas, that car just really gets a little bit evil on him.
Yeah, it looks like it's stepping out sideways for sure. Look who's come back into the picture here in the fourth position. It is Jeffrey Maconi, the 00 machine. He's working his way up here in the upper groove here, trying to move his way back up as he's looking to make the move on Peyton Hamlet here in the 19. Great job here from this 00 to rebound from his early incidents. But here it is. Look at this pack back here. The 7 in here. The 41, the 4, the 84 there is Steven Trent. And behind that is Jason Warren, the guy who has dominated most of this race. He's luckily trying to get by that 84. He's going to do that down the back straightaway as he moves up another spot into 8th.
Oh, yeah, just up ahead of him, man. The 41 on track there, 52 in their standings on the 7. Just door to on door right there in the middle of 3 and 4. These guys really leaning on each other. These guys, any memorial race you really want to win, and these guys are going all out for it.
That they are. They're trying to do it here in the spirit of Phillip Hill here as they're coming off of turn 4. Jason Warren here, he's looking feisty. He's got those two in front of him side by side. As now the 7's finally got it done. Now it's going to open up the door. Here comes Jason Warren, but the 41 with the big run down the back straightaway is going to keep it side by side there for him as they go through 3 and 4. This is a log jam back here for the 6th on position back.
And right now, 7 just in front of this pack here, looking pretty good. But now the 4 trying to make a move forward, got a little bit tight coming out of 2. That's going to give the 32, a look on the inside as I think the 52 there gave the 4 a little bit of a shove going off into 3. And he's able to get underneath him as these guys look like they're trying to get 3 wide as, the 4 a little bit loose and he's going to go around.
Oh, a little bit of contact, I think, there between the 41 and the 4 machine there as the 52 on our scoreboard, David Cooler, and him make contact down there in turn 1, racing side by side. And it was 3 wide there for a moment, coming off of 4, as Jason Warren there was able to take the big move to move up to 6th. But really the one who lost out on all that is Jordan Pearson there, who got spun around in that position up top, was trying to do his best to get by, got stuck up on the top side, and now he is going to be looking to get something back for this, maybe come to pit road and possibly look to put some tires.
Well, we've got pretty much half the field, looks like, coming down for tires. A lot of these guys feel like now is the time, put the fresh set on, and we'll go out there and race again. Looks like Bryce and Maconi, and then, Jason Warren, of course, he's already taken his second set of tires. So it looks like you got Bryce. Maconi may or may not have taken his set. And then you've got David Collier there, electing to stay out right now, and then looks like Jordan Person as well staying out, but everybody else getting that fresh set.
Yeah, this is interesting. The 16 of Bryce, I can't confirm, has not pit yet in this race, so he is able to do this yet on a no stop. Same for the 52 of David Collier, who was involved in that latest incident there. Actually was spun around earlier. He did not even stop then. He's kept the same set of tires he's had on the race car since that start of the race. And Jeffrey Maconi, he has made a pit stop, but I'm unsure if that pit stop was a stop to actually take tires or just mostly damage repair, because I didn't exactly get to see that stop for him, so that is a big telltale of what happened there for him. Is I'm actually going to get a good look there. Yeah, so no tires actually on Maconi. So yeah, just getting that damage fixed on that race truck or race car.
Yeah, so right now the only guy in the top 5 right now who has tires is Jason Warren. Then you have everybody outside of the top 5 that has taken tires, minus the guys that are a lap down, we aren't sure of. But everybody on the lead lap outside the top 5 just got their tires, so now they'll have to make their way back up through the pack. So, this next restart here going to be pretty exciting.
Oh, it's going to be very, very exciting, no doubt indeed. And it's going to have Bryce up front, Jeffrey Maconi there on the same row with him, Jason Warren. And we saw Maconi and Warren have their little bit of a battle there early in the race, and that's what got Maconi some of that damage. Maybe going to be thinking to race each other a little bit differently here coming down to the end. We'll see how that all works out and shakes out from those two. But yeah, like you said, Brian, it's back there in that 6th position of Peyton Hamlet in the 19 machine, going to be that first car with this brand new set of tires back here on lap 92. That's going to be interesting to see what he can do. He's got a lot of damage on that race car too. But I tell you, these late models are tough for what I've told tonight.
Oh yeah, these things, it takes a lot of damage, I think, to really affect it. We've seen Maconi get into that outside wall, and that was some moderate damage, and it did seem to affect his car. But a lot of this light damage, especially like in the back, I think these late models don't even pay any attention to it.
Well, we're about to pay attention to this. This is going to be a wild restarts here, folks. Lined up on the front row, Bryce Font-Leroy, Jeffrey Maconi up on the front row as we're getting ready to start here. Our flag man waits here, and the green flag is out, and we're off and away. Is a great start from the bottom lane of Jeffrey there in that 2nd position. He's able to pull a nose ahead here as they race off of 2, a little bit of contact, but Bryce is able to hold on to that machine as they head down to 3.
Yeah, that was almost disastrous. The Zoo 32 getting loose, and 1 and 2 saw the 19 getting loose. I think, a lot of these guys pretty loose on these cold tires. And the other thing we forgot to mention, Zach, is all those guys that took tires may have made adjustments as well. So the pace of everybody may change here in the later stages of the race.
You very well could have seen some setup changes being made. Need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. Air pressure here, air pressure there. It's all about fine-tuning your race car here when it comes down to the ending of this race. And the battle in there for that 3rd position is getting high and heavy as the 41 and the 32 make contact. The 32 holds on to that machine as they head down to 3 and 4. But that battle for the leads, too, is still heating up as Maconi almost clear for the lead up front. Bryce Font-Leroy is fighting hard on the outside.
And there's so much action going on right now. You got a battle for the lead, which looks like Maconi is going to be able to. Oh no, big wreck! As we just got a lot going on right now.
Oh yeah, big incident there, and it all started around that 32 of Jason Warren. And kind of similar incident from what I've seen earlier between him and Maconi. A little bit of contact in the center of the corner from the car on the outside to the car on the inside, shoves the car up on the outside up into the wall, and from there it was a stack up that a lot of people couldn't miss. The 7 of Jackson McLaren goes around, the 4 of Jordan Pearson goes around. Multiple different drivers involved in this one here. As we're going to look back on the Freaky Fast instant replay to see exactly how it all shook out. You can see that contact between those two battling for that third spot, the 41 and the 32. Hip check up into the wall, and from there, the 41 just trying to hold on to his race car, but it's so hard to do. The 7 coming up, the 4 going down. Multiple cars looking for different spots on the racetrack, and from there, the 06 involved of Stephen Harlow there. Just multiple drivers involved in this incident here, Brian.
Yeah, and I think we're getting to the point for some of these guys where they may have already used their fast repair and now are having to, just use, just having to take that damage, repair time. Can say that the 4 of Jordan Person there, he had a bunch of heavy damage. He just took his fast repair, so he doesn't have that extra chance. And I'm sure a bunch of those cars in that incident right there will elect to take that fast repair if they still have it.
If you got a fast repair, you're probably going to use it here in these closing 50 laps. But I tell you what, Jeffrey Maconi has done a great job to rebound for himself after getting caught up in a few incidences early in this race, back up to the lead here for himself. He's got Bryce in the 16 machine directly behind him, Jason in the 32, Rosswell in the 05, and Peyton here in the 19 in the top 5 positions. It's going to be a heck of a battle here, especially those new tires back there. I think we're going to see some interesting scenarios. We even seen Jason Warren. He showed a little bit of struggles, Brian. He seems like he's so strong by himself on the racetrack, but as soon as he gets someone on that right rear quarter panel, which we've seen all night, it's tough at this racetrack when you're trying to make a pass on the bottom. That outside is definitely the preferred place to hold somebody off. But man, Jason Warren, it seems like it's a little tough for him down there in 1 and 2 to hold that bottom lane.
Yeah, and when you build a setup with any car at any track, you typically do that running by yourself. You go out there, run a few laps, see how the car feels, come in, make a small change, big change, whatever changes you feel like you need. Go out there and run again, but you're always going to be by yourself. And with the faster cars at like the 1.5 or 2 mile tracks, you during that setup phase, you do want to run with some other guys because draft is involved. But here tonight at the short tracks, or at Nashville, I feel like a lot of the setup process is going to be by yourself. So, I feel like that's kind of really showing with the 32 is that, when you run, when you build that setup by yourself, you're able to run whatever line you want, how you want to run it. And so your weaknesses, in the speed of your car really show when you have that car on your right rear.
That it has here tonight so far for that 32. We'll see what can happen here. Pace car is going to take the hard left-hand turn down the pit road, possibly for the final time tonight. You never know here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. It could be over in a blink of an eye here as the green flag waves. We're off and away heading down to 1. Maconi going to have that 16 on the outside. He elected to take the inside. That was a very interesting call for him because now the 16 working his way up, almost squeezed up into the wall by the 00. It's going to set up almost a 3-wide action behind us. Here comes the 32, the 05 Roswell Harlow. Also, he's got those new set of tires along with the 19 of Peyton Hamlet there directly behind as the 32 looks to make his move.
You can't really get any closer with racing than that right there. I'm not sure how these guys both kept it straight. They're still side by side after all of that. But 32 right on the back bumper of the 00 there on the inside of the 16, trying to find his way to the lead. He's got fresher tires than these two guys in front of him, and we'll see if he can make those work.
Yeah, you can see he's able to look so much lower on the exit of corner by those bumps. Just so devastating to the exit. Couldn't get the run he wanted, but now he's going to dive to the inside here through 3 and 4. He's going to be side by side for the lead this time here as Maconi going to be barely ahead, but the 32 able to dive back to the inside. This is going to allow the 16 to come down there also. It is getting wild for the lead up here up front. Phillip Hill is definitely smiling down this, Brian, watching this racing here at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Oh, absolutely. I bet he's enjoying this a bunch, seeing these two leaders side by side. I mean, these cars have practically been side by side each other for half the race. And, 16 trying to make something happen. And then, of course, you got the 05. He's trying to make something work as well. And here comes the 7 car behind him. So all these guys really just right on top of each other. As, it looks like the 7 just went around.
There it is, caution out on the racetrack, and a little bit of extra contact there after the yellow flag flies, as it looks like Stephen Harlow nowhere for him to go, as the 7 machine is there in the middle of the straightaway. And Jackson McLaren, who was having such a great run in the 7, was looking so strong as this race went on, but just went around in a very easy spin there. And man, oh man, got a feel for that guy.
Yeah, it's just, it happens sometimes. You're racing hard, and sometimes you overstep that, the line there. Have to regroup, reset, and, try to get a few positions back before the end of this race, because, we're getting to the end of this thing.
That we are. It's clicking away very quickly, Brian. And, I got to tell you, everybody, thank you all for tuning in here to Freaky Fast. It's been a pleasure to bring this memorial race to y'all here tonight, here with, again, in memory of Phillip Hill here, a racer just like all of us here tonight. And man, this is so cool to see guys come out here in memory of Phillip and put on this show that they have. I mean, they're racing so hard out here tonight to do this for him. And man, from what I've heard about Phillip, it's all about, first of all, family with him, which is, first and foremost, the first thing you should always think about in your life, and then racing. And that sounds like a good guy to me. I'm unfortunate that I didn't get to meet Phillip, but man, you will definitely be remembering him here well tonight and also in the future.
Oh yeah, I didn't know Phil Hill either, but just from reading the little bit that I have and the little bit that I've been told about him, he's seems like definitely one of those guys that you could just sit down and have a conversation about anything about and really enjoy it, and especially with the whole racing aspect. Anybody that's again, like we were talking at the top of the show, anybody in the racing community, whether it be the real life side of things or the sim racing side, it doesn't matter how many times you get into them on the track or how many bent fenders there are. At the end of the day, we're very similar people at the core. We all have that passion for racing. So it's really cool that we're able to come together and put this on in memory of Phil the Thrill Hill, and it's really an honor that Freaky Fast Broadcasting, myself, you, Zach, and our producer Robert is able to do this for everybody.
Yeah, it was definitely not only for a great cause, but just something that is so important to us to give back to the community and really put the spotlight on great people like Phillip Hill. That were out there in our racing community that really caused that effect on a lot of people's lives, and we're giving back to that here tonight. And what a way to do it, man. That's the thing. Phillip Hill racing here on the Nashville Fairgrounds many times in a late model, but here tonight we get to do it on the simulation here at iRacing.com, and that is the beauty of iRacing. We can do events like this, man, and put on stuff that it would be very tough to do when organizing a real race. So it's a tough thing to do, but here iRacing gives us the ability to do it, and we're going to have a heck of a finish here, man. I cannot wait to see how this all shakes out. I think we have Maconi coming here and take tires also, Brian, from that second position. He's going to be restarting back there in 9th. You're going to have Jason Warren, though, up front. Roswell Harlow on the bottom there, trying to take that position away from him. We'll see how it works out here as we're coming to the restart zone here at the Nashville Fairgrounds for the Phillip Hill Memorial 150. Green flag is out in the air. We're back off and away. Remember, Roswell Harlow, a little bit fresher tires than this 32. Can he get clear here in the center? No, the 32 doesn't let that happen. Here's they race side by side down the back straightaway. It's a dead even heat as the 32 pulls a nose ahead.
Holy cow, that 32 really got on the door of that 05 in 1 and 2. Able to pull about a half a car's length ahead of him as they head into 1. Gonna be able to clear him as, these guys all over the pack, just all over each other. Now they're racing for second place. Stephen Chun right on the outside of that 05, trying to make something work on the high side, but don't forget about that 19 on the inside. He's been looking pretty quick, but that 32, even though he does have older tires than a lot of these guys now, I think the pace in that car is going to be able to, balance that out.
Yeah, this is very interesting to see that 32, man. I mean, I think it's been all night. That thing's on rails. He has got that thing hooked up. He's definitely gonna have to put this one in the notebook for coming back to the Nashville Fairgrounds for his future endeavors here, man. But look at this new driver up to second, and that's Steven Chun. He actually got a wave around not too long ago to get back on the lead lap here. He's worked his way up to second. What a drive for him, I must say.
Yeah, I was watching him, kind of earlier in the race about the halfway point, and man, that car looked very, very loose. I guess he was just really pushing, trying to make it go, all the time he could, all the positions. But now that he's up in the second place, the car looking a lot better. Wonder if he made a little bit of an adjustment, and looking fairly good, able to keep up with that 32. And only time to tell is, man, his entries are looking really, really good as we have a caution on the track.
Oh no, it's Jeffrey Maconi going around in the 00 machine. And unsure exactly what transpired there. I think he might have got caught up in someone else's business there. And look at that, going to have a blown motor. And good thing he saved that fast repair, I believe, in this race, because he's going to need it here. So we're going to go back on the Freaky Fast replay. You're looking there at the Maconi setup shot machine. He's got that 7 of Jackson up there and the 16 of Bryce. These two going to actually make contact as the 16 gets into the wall, down into the 7 of Jackson, where nowhere to go. And look at this, Jeffrey Maconi, nowhere to go, just an innocent bystander on the inside, into that inside wall hard. And man, that's going to destroy the engine of that race car, and he's going to have to get that thing worked on, and hopefully, for his sake, still have that fast repair, because I definitely think he does.
Yeah, hopefully he does. And if he does and gets that car fixed, I don't doubt that we will see him up in the front again, because he's shown that he can really pick these guys off one by one fairly quickly. So I wouldn't count him out just yet.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't count him out yet. And there, look again, fast repair on. So boom, fixed car there for him. He's going to get back going here and have a clean machine ready to go here in the final 25 laps. That's a great thing that he saved that, man. He could have used it. That's the thing. I feel like a lot of drivers, when you have a fast repair, I feel like you need to cherish that thing and really say, this is a full reset here. This isn't something that you want to use just on fender damage. I think this is something that drivers need to rethink more, and what a high IQ, driver IQ moment there for Jeffrey Maconi to save that. Now going to have one more shot again to get back into this business.
Yeah, Zach, I don't have any kids, but I treat a fast repair like a child, because it's that precious. You always want to save it. You want to protect it. Only use it when you have to, and that's exactly what Maconi did.
Yeah, that's that's a great way to put it, Brian. I never looked at it that way, but man, definitely when you have those fast repairs, you want to definitely have those in your back pocket to, be able to save when you need them. And Maconi did the exact thing he needed to do, and right now he is able, really good. We're under pace laps here before we get double file back up. And again, thank you everybody tuning in. It's been action called by Zach Hall here tonight, along with Brian Johnson, our producer Robert Moyer Jr. up in the booth here, giving us all the info in our ears at all times. But man, oh man, Brian, it looks like the pace car lights are still on, so we're not going to go green yet. But this race winding down here, but it ain't winding down with action. It's winding down with laps.
Yeah, only I think when we go green, maybe have 23, 24 laps. But yeah, laps winding down, but action is winding up. These guys, they got to give it all they got now. 20 laps here, not a whole lot of time to get anything done. So, it's going to be a lot of take and no give from this point on.
This is going to be fun action to watch here, as we've seen it all night long. This track really sets up for a great race here with these late model machines, able to really make that bottom work when most cars couldn't there. It's really able to do it here, but we're going to see how it works out. It's going to be Steve Chun on that bottom lane in the 84. First time he's been up there all night long. He's going to have a good shot at this thing. Same with Peyton Hamlet there in the third, and Dave Coiler up in the fourth positions. We're looking to get ready to take the green flag. It's Jason Ward here with the lead, but look at this, the 84 with a great start from him. He's really able to soar out. He's going to clear this 32 machine, and man, oh man, that restart there from the 84 was great.
go. I mean, that had to be the restart of his life. That looked fantastic. I mean, that's the most perfect restart out of second place I've ever seen. And he's taken that lead and now is having to defend the lead from that 32 as, you know, he is hard charging right now with, you know, behind him, third place. That 41 car trying to steal third place from the 19.
Look at this great battle setting off here. The 84 Steve Chun, first time up to the lead from starting ninth here tonight. You also got the 41 of David Coolidge Jr. trying to, you know, run that Phillip Hill paint scheme up here into the podium, along with Bryce Fauntleroy there in that fifth position. And Jeffrey Maconi's also back up to sixth with the new tires. It's coming to 20 to go this time. It's anybody's race here at Nashville.
Yeah, Maconi really making up some good time, but you know, these leaders still side by side, and third place still side by side as well. And you know, gotta say we've been talking about it all night. That 52 car of David Collier there, on screen, got that 41 paint scheme, filled the Thrill Hill there. You know, if I'm him, I'm trying to do everything I can to get that thing in victory lane tonight.
No doubt, Brian, for sure. If you're gonna run the Memorial paint scheme, then you're gonna want to get it done. No doubt here in memory of your friend, as he's down into 3 and 4, trying to get every bit, a little bit of power off that corner to clear this 19. It's so tough to pass on this bottom lane. They make a little contact there. That sends the 19 up the racetrack. Great catch there from Peyton Hamlet. It's going to set him back now into the clutches of Jeffrey Maconi, but it's going to let Bryce up here in that David in that third position move himself up along with Bryce up to fourth as the battle for the lead ensues. It's side by side up front here for first.
Yeah, they've been pretty much side by side since the restart, minus maybe a couple laps. 32 off the exit of 2, really good exit. They're going to dive off into 3 and 4, door to door, run a little bit wide there, but 32 another great exit, and he's just about clear, maybe not quite, and still not clear as the 84 going to hang on that right rear.
What a job by the 32. It doesn't matter what lap it is, that 32 always charging. And man, the one thing I've noticed from him, he's done a very good job, but when he's on the bottom lane, he lets that guy on that outside drive it in much deeper than him. He backs the corner up, makes sure he gets the good exit, and doesn't get too overzealous on that bottom. It's so easy when you're on the inside of somebody just to overshoot the entry and not be able to get the power down on the exit that you need to be able to, you know, slowly pass that driver, because it's not a one lap pass type of thing here. It's usually a 3 to 4 lap setup pass. You have to gain those small bits of ground each and every lap off the exit of the corners and try to break even and then use your advantage to being on that bottom. And that's really what this 32 did. Now the 41 behind that trying to make that happen there. David Kohler Jr. there trying to go forward here in that Memorial paint scheme. What a job he's done as he's now looking to the inside of Stephen Chun.
Yeah, you know, like you said, Zach, it takes 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 laps to set up and make a pass. But the problem is that when we come to the line this lap, we're only going to have 12 laps left. So, you know, those 6 lap setups, you know, these guys may start having to use the bunker to make these passes happen.
And now this has opened the door for the 16 of Bryce to get to the outside of the 41 there, down the back straight, but the 41 closes the door. Now back to the inside of the 84. This is allowing no contact between those two. It sends them around. 2 cars go around. Maconi involved in that there, as it's a major 4-car collision there on the bottom lane between our second or third place driver.
Yeah, you know, I just mentioned it. Maybe having to use the bumpers, and you know, one of them used the door, and the other one used the bumper. So you know, whatever part of the car is convenient for the time, I guess.
That it was, Brian. That's a very good point. And we got cars out here sidewinding there as they got major damage on a few of those race cars. But it looked like it all started there from contact there, just from that 52 on the entry up into the door of that driver on his outside there in the 84 of Stephen Chun. And man, just like that, he goes around. Bryce has nowhere to go. He actually gets a little bit of help by checking up from Peyton Hamlet, and then Jeffrey Maconi down low. He gets involved in it. Just a major pile up here with 10 to go. But now this is set up an interesting scenario. Jason Warren going to have the lead. David Collier Jr. going to be in second. And we seen last time Stephen Gunn on the bottom was able to get the lead. Does, you know, Jason Warren take the bottom this time? Does he go back to the top? You know, there's so many questions I think he needs to be asking himself right now as this leader.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is that earlier in the race when Jason Warren and Maconi were up there battling, and we had those few cautions at the beginning, they were having to restart. Jason Warren, he lost the lead from the inside, lost the lead from the outside, and now later in the race we've seen him lose the lead from the outside again. So I think for him it doesn't really matter um, what lane he picks. It's just he's really got to nail the restart. Um, and with this one, when we go green, maybe 5, 6 laps left. So, possibly the last restart of the race. So really got to nail it. But also, David Collier, Peyton Hamlet right behind him. I think they could pull something off as well. Been saying it all night long, mentioned it a little bit ago, but that 41, paint scheme right there, sitting in second place with 5 laps to go, going to be trying everything he's got.
Everything you got is what it's going to take here coming down the closing 10 laps of this race. It's going to be wild to see how it all shakes out. Right now, Maconi getting a wave around on the pace car. He's going to go around and get a lap back for him in that 0-0 to put him back to the 8th position on the lead lap. But we'll see. Jason Warren looks like he's lining up to the outside here, Brian, and that's what he's looking to do. And, the last time I looked at it there, that 84 kind of had a little bit better rolling speed than that 32. So he needs to watch out for that with his 41 on the bottom. Can't let him get the better rolling speed and cannot let him get a nose ahead once they take the green.
Yeah, although it'll be interesting to see who will have the better speed side by side. We know what the pace of the 32 is side by side up front, but what's the pace of the 41? Hadn't seen him on the front row yet.
We'll have to see this time. It's going to be the 32 of Jason Warren, the 41 of David Coiler Jr. up front. Jason Warren, though, dominated most of this race, has had the car to beat, but it's going to be green flag here with 6 laps to go. Contact with the 2 up front. It's going to be the 41 trying to charge here to the lead, with the 19 of Peyton Hamlet directly behind, side by side, down the back straightaway. It's already been contact entering the corner. What will they do here as they head to 3? Side by side, the 32 loses the rear. He goes around from the lead.
Well, yeah,
and the caution's out.
Trying to push it real hard right there, but if that doesn't tell you how bad David Collier Jr. wants to win this race, I don't think anything will.
Wow, what a moment there, and Jason Warren, just like that in a blink of an eye, out of this event on pit road, and now the lead goes over to David Collier Jr. in the 41 paint scheme itself. What a way this would be to pull off a victory. Man, oh man, Brian, this could be setting up for a storybook ending.
I do like those. I'm a big fan, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Only time will tell. I say that phrase a lot, but not sure how many green-white-checkers we have, if any. But we'll see if it's going to be a green-white-checkered when we go green next time.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting, my friends, here, for no doubt indeed. And this 41 has put himself in position here to win. Can he get it done? Jordan Pearson there directly behind Peyton Hamlet there in that 3rd position. And, man, look at that. Jordan Pearson, Peyton Hamlet, 13th and 14th on the field here tonight to start. What a way to drive themselves up here into position. This is setting up to be a heck of a finish here. And, you got to feel for Jason Warren there. Had such a good run going in that 32 machine. Was so quick all night long. Makes the simple mistake getting into the corner there on entry. Loses the rear. And, man, from there, he lost the car and the caution would fly. But, man, oh, man, this is setting up again. David Coiler Jr., what is he going to do? Is he going to restart on the bottom? Is he going to restart up top? He's going to have a lot of decisions to make in this 52 on the scoreboard, but 41 right here on screen.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for him because, these last, we are going to have a green-white-checkered here. We're going to have 3 attempts at it, so this will be our first. But, you got 2 green flag laps, and it's a short track. They're sitting a green-white-checkered at 1.5 miles, 2 mile, 2.5 mile, whatever. This is a short track, so you're not going to get away from the guys behind you. It doesn't matter how hard you try. Any guy on the lead lap right now, first through 6, every single one has a chance depending on how this all plays out. So you really got to, dot your I's, cross your T's, watch your P's and Q's, and do all of that. So really these last 2 laps for David Collier here have to be absolutely perfect.
Man, oh man, I mean, yeah, this is the this is the big picture here, man. You're looking at this green-white checker attempt number 1 here coming up very, very soon. And I tell you what, I think here because we've had consecutive cautions here, Brian, I think we're gonna have a single file restart, and this sets up a lot better for this 41 machine than having a double file.
I mean, it's like Christmas morning for him right now. I mean, that's great news for him. That makes it quite a bit easier for him.
Well, here we go, folks. First green-white checkered attempt here at the Phillip Hill Memorial 150 here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. The pace car's been in. It's David Coiler Jr. in the Phillip Hill paint scheme, leading the way. Green flag is out and off and away. Here we go. The 4 already looks to the inside, but the 41 covers it off. Here we go. Next time, if we get the freaky fast white flag, that'll officially bring it into this race with any other flag. As they head down to 3 and 4, there's some contact behind. The 4 goes around. He saves it, but the caution flag flies there as we're going to have green-white attempt number 2 here. And this is going to set up for an even more exciting finish.
Man, that is such a shame because David Collier did everything right up until that point. He was looking really good, didn't overdrive 1 and 2, was defending well, had a really good turn 3 and 4 there, but unfortunate, just couldn't quite get the white flag. It was, in his hands and it just slipped out. Man, that's a terrible feeling to have.
What a terrible feeling to have, no doubt indeed, Brian. And he'll have 2 more attempts here to try this here, if possible at most. He wants to, hopefully this next one will be the one for him here, but man, he did everything right there. Unfortunately for him, the contact between the 19 and the 4 behind is what was bring out that caution. And man, this is set up for a finish that I really don't know what's going to happen here. I mean, will we see another single file restart here due to another early caution like that? That's very possible. We could see that there. So we'll see how that shakes out. Will the 19 take a chance? I mean, we've seen the 19 be aggressive tonight. He's got into people there. He got into the 4 right there. Will he look to get into this 41 to try to make something happen? Will Harlow there? And same for James Watson, as we only got 4 cars out here on the lead lap here left in this race, as most of these cars in the final few laps have either wrecked out or pulled them behind the wall.
Yeah, there's been a lot of carnage here tonight, which is expected here at Nashville. This 0.6 mile track, and some of these cars just taking too much damage, more than they can handle. So yeah, kind of unique. Only 4 cars on the lead lap. So right now, I mean, if you're one of those 4 guys, you got a 25% chance of winning, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I would like those odds a lot, Brian, for sure. And if you're David Coiler Jr., you're just hoping this race gets to that white flag. You want to see that white flag, and then after that, you'll be looking up to see the checker flag. Still pace lights on this pace car as we go waiting to take the 1 degree, and probably next time by, you can see the nervous energy warming those tires, making sure they're clean, weaving back and forth here on the back straightaway here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. David Coiler's got a lot of things going through his mind right now, but one thing that has to be is to have a perfect restart here, not allow that 19 to have a chance.
Yeah, no, definitely you can't spin the tires if that's even a possibility in these cars. Really haven't been paying attention to that tonight, but gotta have a good run at the green flag going into 1. If you see the 19 looking low, definitely got to cover that off, but also be careful and be aware that 19's hasn't been afraid to use that bumper tonight. So what are you gonna do to kind of protect yourself in the event that you get a little bump from the back? So a lot to think about as you're going to take this green flag, and unfortunately for a lot of those situations, you got to react as it happens.
We're going to see how it all shakes out. 4 cars here, second green-white checkered attempt. It's going to be 2 laps here to see who's going to be your Phillip Hill Memorial 150 winner here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Late model action here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as we're going to get ready to come to the green flag here. They're all stacked up. Green is in the air. They're off and away. Coiler Jr., great start from him as he's able to build the gap here on the 19 machine, as Here comes Hamlet, but not able to get the run off. A really big run for the 41 as they head down the back straightaway for the penultimate time into 3 and 4. David Coiler Jr. is going to look up to the flag man. He's going to see the freaky fast white flag. 1 lap to go here at the Phillip Hill Memorial 150 as he has major issues. What is going on here?
Oh, I think
this
he's
car
out of fuel.
He is out of fuel, ladies and gentlemen. This is not what you want to see as the 19 of Peyton Hamlet takes the lead down the back straightaway. Roswell Harlow in the 05 looking to charge up to him, but Peyton Hamlet is going to steal the victory here tonight at the Phillip Hill Memorial 150.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that, Zach, under that green-white-checkered. I was like, I wonder if some of these guys did not anticipate this race being extended, and I wonder how these guys are on fuel, and man, you hate to see that.
Oh, man, that is a heartbreaker there coming to the white flag. That car stumbles heading down the front straightaway. The 19 of Peyton Hamlet here celebrates on the front straightaway here at the Nashville Fairgrounds. And what an unfortunate story for David Coiler Jr. who's going to come home in that 4th position after limping back to pit road. But it's going to be Peyton Hamlet in that 19 machine, your winner here tonight for the Phillip Hill Memorial 150. What a drive from him in that race car. We're going to bring up our race results here so you can see how it all shook out here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Peyton Hamlet there, like I said, able to pull off that victory and get to that lead there as Roswell Harlow is going to be in the 2nd position. 3rd is going to go to James Watson. 4th is going to be David Coiler Jr. 5th is going to be Jordan Pearson. Jordan Pearson. 6th is going to go to Stephen Chun. 7th is going to be Jeffrey Maconi. 8th is going to be Jason Warren. 9th is going to be Bryce Roy. And rounding out that freaky fast top 10 is Jeffrey Taylor. As we look through the rest of the field, Brian, what a crazy finish there, my friend.
Yeah, you know, 1 lap, 0.6 miles, you know, that's not a lot of fuel. You know, man, there's just no words to say how heartbreaking that is for the 52 or the 41 of David Collier there. But you know, fantastic race. You know, big fan of short track races, and you know, don't really get to see these late models all that much. You know, not very popular, but very cool to see that on the track tonight, especially in memory of Phillip Hill. You know, this is what he did, and you know, I think these guys put on a great show, and you know, really speaks to the memory of Phil the Thrill Hill.
That it does, Brian. What a way to memorize Phillip here tonight, as this race was action-packed from lap 1 to lap 158 all the way down to the end, with Peyton Hamlet here taking the win. And the big picture of things, congrats to Peyton Hamlet, but like I said, the big picture here, thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight, especially as everybody came here to memorize Phillip Hill here, as this was his memorial race here tonight. And you know, we really want to give our thoughts and prayers and condolences out to his family, his wife, and 2 sons there, as they are definitely dealing through some tough times right now. But we're all going to be here as a racing community to help them here get through these tough times. And if you haven't yet, make sure you go on over to the Maconi Setup Shop Twitter. You can check out there where they have the GoFundMe link set up that you can go help Phillip Hill's family and donate there to help them at their time of need. So definitely an important thing here at the racing community for us to be able to do something like this here tonight and memorize a great person, not only, but a great racer also out there at Phillip Hill. So again, thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to call all the action here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds. We're going to head off here tonight, but don't forget, we will be back here as always here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting on Saturday nights, Sunday night, and Monday night. So we got 3 nights of more action coming up here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Don't go nowhere from that. So make sure you hit that subscribe, that like, and that bell notification button so you can be just notified each and every time we go live. And as I always say here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, thank you all for tuning in. We love you. Stay freaky fast.